Hi guys, I'm Damian Krychowski and I would like to welcome you to the third part of SQL course for the beginners. Today we are going to cover such topics like order by, limit and offset. But first, for all of you who are here for the first time, let me introduce you to the SQL Sandbox platform. This is our latest platform. You can find the link in the description, and the platform allows us to work with SQL very easily. So, how to use it? First of all, we need to scroll down a little bit, but first of all, obviously, you need to log in there and open the page so that you can see what I can see on my screen. And then you need to scroll down a little bit, just to the exercises sets list, expand the first one, click prepare database button and confirm that operation. What it does, it will prepare a database for you. So basically it will create a customers table and fill it in with 100 rows. And we are going to use those rows in today's lesson. After that is done, we scroll up and we open our database. When we open database, we see the SQL editor. And SQL editor is built of a couple of elements. The first and the most important one is workspace. This is placed in here, and this is the place where we are going to put in all our SQL queries. On the left side, we see the toolbox, and the toolbox have list of tables. Right now we have only one table, customers table, and that table was created during this preparation phase, which we just did before. And when we expand it, we can see the list of columns of the table. So that's the introduction. I would just mention that at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a little hint how you can generate some exercises so that you can practice all this stuff which we are going to learn today. And right now, let's move on to the lesson number 3. So let's start it with the very basic SQL, and that will be select asterisk from customers table, just to select all the rows from our table and to see what kind of data we have in there. So let's start. So select asterisk from customers. What it does, it selects all the columns from customers table. Nothing fancy, just the very basic select statement. Let's execute it. And we see that we got our records. We have 100 records. I will expand the number of items per page to 50 so that we can see more on the screen. And when we would analyze that result sets a little bit, we would notice that the records are being ordered by the customer ID column. The fact that it's ordered is kind of random because before we specify exactly by which column we want the SQL engine to sort our data, we don't really know what the results we are going to get. So the fact that it has actually sorted our results by the customer ID, as it's at least so it seems, it's not something which we can take for granted because it depends on the SQL engine, it depends on the data structure. It's basically something which we cannot make any assumption about. To be able to specify exactly how to sort our results, we need to introduce this new syntax, which is order by. How to do it? Let's try to order our results by the last name column. So to do it, we just need to copy that basic select statement, paste it in below, and add this new phrase, which is order by. And after order by, we need to specify the column name we want to be used to order our data by. And we would like our data to be ordered by the last name. And when we execute that query, so I will just select it and execute selection, we notice that right now our result set is a little bit different. First of all, the number of items returned from the table is 100. So basically, whenever we select from table without any where criteria, we always going to get the whole table as a result. And that has not changed. The thing that changed is the way the data is being sorted in the result set. So we see that the customers right now are not in the order of the customer ID as they used to be before, but they are sorted by the last name. And we see that this the direction of the sorting is ascending. So basically it starts with A and then we see B, C, D, etc. And this is the same result as if we would use the ascending key in here. So basically, by default, when you order by a column name, you order ascendingly. But you can specify it explicitly, like here. And now when I highlight the query and execute it, we see that we get the exact same results as previously. We can obviously achieve a reversed order with a different keyword in here. So instead of ascendingly, we want to sort the stuff descendingly. So we need to replace it with desk. And now execute. And we see that the items are being sorted descendingly. Right now, the first record last name starts with Z. Okay, what else can we do? Let's maybe sort it ascendingly back again. Let's do it. Let's highlight the query. Let's execute it. And we see that sometimes we have records which have the same last name. So we have a couple of customers with Anderson as a last name, couple of Browns, couple of Clarks. So yeah, the last name is being duplicated. But we notice that those people have different first names. And what we could do is that we could expand the list of columns we want to sort our results by. So at the first stage of sorting, we would still like to use the last name. So sort this as it is. But then within each group of the values with the same last name, we would like to apply the next level of sorting by the first name. And we can easily achieve it with SQL simply by adding a next column to the list after order by statement. We just need to put in comma and then specify the column which we would like to use as a second step of ordering. So it would be first name. And obviously we can specify, do we want to order ascendingly or descendingly? And it doesn't necessarily need to be the same order as in the first column. We can mix it the way we want. So I will start with ascending direction, but then we can replace it with descending and see the results. Okay, let's highlight the query. Let's execute the selection. And we see that indeed right now the results has been sorted a little bit differently, because we see that Charlotte right now is in the first place, Freya is the second, Jack, William. So those sorting has been applied to the first name column as well. Okay, and what would happen if we would modify this ascending order for first name with descending one? Let's try it in practice. I have changed this keyword. Now I will highlight the query and I will execute the selection. And we see that those names are now reversed, but still the records, the first stage of sorting is done by last name, and those records has not changed in that regards. Okay, so that's how we can use order by. We, of course, can use much more columns in here. There is no limit. So if we would face a situation that, for example, we have a couple of people whose last name is the same, whose first name is the same, then we could add a third stage of sorting, for example, by email or maybe by date joint or total orders. Doesn't really matter, because we can easily sort by all of those values without any problems. And maybe try it. Maybe let's try to find, maybe let's try to sort all the customers by their total orders number. So we start with select asterisk from customers order by total orders. Let's save it ascendingly and let's execute it. And we see that right now the list has been returned. There is 100 rows in the result, so that's correct. And we see that the total order is being sorted right now. And we start with 1, then there is 2, then there is 3, etc. because we have picked ascending order. We can change it to descending, no problem, and execute it. And we see that right now the results are reversed. Okay, what else can we do with this order by syntax? As always with SQL, we can compose and combine different parts of queries together to achieve the results which we are looking for. And as we have learned in the lesson number 1, we can apply where filters to the queries. So for example, to find all the people who live in USA or all the people who has joined the portal after a particular date, we can use those where conditions. And there is no problem with combining those with order by statement as well. So for example, we could try to find all the people who has joined, whose date joined is after the 1st of January 2021, and order them by that date join. Let's see. So select asterisk, but we could easily pick only some of the columns, not all of them. But maybe let's stick to picking all of the columns for now, but you can experiment with that and pick, for example, first name, last name. You can basically compose this SQL however you like. So from customers, now the where filter, so where date joined is greater or equal to 2021 0101. So 1st of January 2021, order by date joined. And when we execute that, we'll see that right now we have our result first filtered by the condition. So we see that number of results is limited to 40 now, and it used to be 100 before. So we only get a subset of our table. And then the result is being ordered by the specified column. And we can observe that this is actually true because the first item on the list has date 5th of January, then is 8th of January, etc. And this date is growing. We can reverse the order as always and ask for a descending one. And we see that right now it has been reversed. Okay. What else? So I mentioned before that we are going to learn 2 more keywords, and these are limit and offset. These are very useful keywords, and we can achieve some very interesting results with them, especially for the situations where we would like to get only a subset of the sorted results. But let's start with the basics. We could use limit keyword like this. So let's start with select asterisk from customers. And now let's put a limit directly after that and say limit 10 items. And when we execute it, we will notice that our result set right now has only 10 items. But as I said previously, when we are selecting from a table without specifying exactly in which order the data should be returned, we can get results in a random order. And that means that this limit 10 can give us some random 10 items from the database, and we don't really know which items would that be. It's not very useful to get random items. That's why the limit statement works the best with the order by when it's specified explicitly. So how to do it? We just need to select from customers, and now we can add order by, and we can pick whichever column we want. So for example, we can order by date joined, and now we can limit the result sets to 10 items. And when we execute that, we will get 10 people from the customers table who has joined the portal first. So we see that the number is, the date join starts from 2019. And these are the basically first 10 customers who has joined our portal. We could reverse it and get last 10 customers who has joined our portal just by adding this descending keyword after the column which we are ordering by. So let's execute it right now. And we see that now the date join starts from 2021, and that's good. And obviously here again with limit, we can compose SQL with all the syntax we know. So we could easily extend our query with where condition, like in here. So let me copy just it from the query above. And we need to put it in the right place because order of those operations is important. First we select, then we specify from which table, then we specify where conditions, then we specify order columns, and at the last we specify limit. Okay, we have it. Now let's execute it. And we see that it worked basically the same because the limit has not changed the results. We can also change the limit value, so we could pick 1. And we see that this is Mia. And to confirm that this is actually the correct result, that the limitation worked correctly, we can execute it again without the limit. So I will just highlight part of that query. I will execute it. And we see that actually Mia was the first result without any limits. So limit worked correctly. And that's pretty much how the limit works. And there is one last keyword we will discuss today, and this is offset keyword. What offset does? Offset is responsible for skipping some of the results before returning the rest of them. So for example, in that situation, let's imagine that we are not interested in the first item on the list, but we would like to get the second item. How to do it? We need to combine offset and limit together. And let's try to do it. So I will copy the query. I will paste it below. And now we just need to add offset and specify the number of rows we need to skip before the limit will be applied. So if we will type 1, it means that from the result set we get, first record will be skipped and the operation will start from the second. So the limit will take 1 item starting from the second position. So after executing that SQL, we should see Lily as our result. And maybe let's try it. Let's execute it. And our theory was confirmed. So SQL engine seems to work correctly and seems that it's not lying to us. Okay, how else can we use those limit and offset? Of course, we can easily use we can use whichever values we want in here. So I could, for example, offset our record by 5 and pick 3 items from the list. Okay, before I will execute it, I will just execute part of the query to return me the full list of the records. Let's do it. And let's see what would be the expected records after applying offset and limit on that particular result set. So offset by 5 means that we want to skip 5 records. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everything up to Henry Rodriguez would be skipped. And 3 items after that would be picked. So this is Liam, Charlotte, and Chloe. So let's try to run it. Liam, Charlotte, and Chloe. Execute it. And we see that we got Liam, Charlotte, and Chloe. So again, practice confirmed our theory. And I think that's pretty much everything about limit, offset, and ordering. I hope it will be useful for you. And maybe as an interesting fact, I will tell you what it is used for in practice the most often times. What kind of scenarios can we achieve with this limit and offset keywords? So whenever you open any e-commerce website, when you see the items on the page and the items are being grouped in the pages so that you can go to page number 1, page number 2, page number 3, and each time you see a different subset of those items to buy, you can assume that below the surface, this is being achieved exactly with this limit and offset capabilities of SQL. Because getting a specific page on your website means that you need to skip items from all the previous pages and take some number of items you would like to display on the current page. And that's how it's achieved. You just offset the database results by the page number multiplied by the page count, and then you take page count number of items to display them to the user when he's on a particular page. And that's how it works. That's why this syntax is useful, and it's very good to know it. So my recommendation right now for you would be to practice as much as possible. So maybe try different where conditions, try different order by column combinations, try different limits, offsets, see how it works. Maybe see what will happen when you get rid of the limit and only try to offset and check it, what will happen then. And if you will run out of ideas of how you can practice this, I strongly recommend to check out our Smart Assistant technology. When you expand this view, clicking on that icon, you see a chat window where you can ask Smart Assistant to generate some exercises for you, for example. So you could ask him like that. Please prepare 10 exercises for me where I will need to use order by, limit, and offset syntax. Now you send it, you wait for the results, and you can go through the results and those exercises prepared by AI for you. That's all for today. I hope I will see you on the next lesson. And for now, bye bye. Have a nice day.